Hey, how's it going everyone? Simon here from CD Revival, and today I'm going to do my WASP discography. Not really a ranking, but I'm going to go through the albums in chronological order and let you know what I think of them. So if you're new to the band, or maybe even a big fan of the band, you can let me know your thoughts. And if you are new to them, then you know, it gives you an idea of what I think are the best ones to go for to start with, to maybe get you into them. But I think they're a great, very underrated band. Been around since the 80s. They're still, I think they're doing a UK tour next year, which I've seen them on the Headless Children tour. I thought they were fantastic. A lot of lineup changes throughout the years. Obviously, Blackie Lawless is the one constant. It's his, you know, thing. So yeah, so we'll go through them. See, let me know what you let me know what you think. Usually I do a ranking for bands like this, but I have found it quite hard to put them in order of worst to best. I think that was a bit unfair, and also discourages the comments of like, oh, I can't believe you put blah blah above such and such, you know. So it's not really a cop out. It's just that I think they're all pretty good. I don't think there's any really terrible ones, and some of them are very good. Most of them are pretty decent. But anyway, enough waffling, and let me know what you think. So I've got all their albums. As far as studio albums go anyway. So start off with the first one. This is the Snapper re-release of it. This one originally came out in August 1984 on Capitol Records. Blackie Lawless, who say the band leader, plays bass on this one. You've got Chris Holmes and Randy Piper on guitar, and Tony Richards on drums, the only album that he drummed on for them. This was preceded by the single Animal Fuck Like a Beast, which didn't ever appear on the original version of this album, but it is on this re-release. It's the first track on the album, so that kind of makes it worth getting. But yeah, a nice re-release of this one, and it's also got the bonus tracks of Show No Mercy, which I think was the B-side of Animal, and Stone's cover, Painted Black. But loads of classic stuff on here. I Want to Be Somebody, Love Machine, The Flame, things like School Days, Hellion, Sleeping in the Fire, Tormentor, On Your Knees, which they pretty much open with every time they play live. But yeah, this is a great album to start with because it really, I say, it's old school Wasp. They have changed throughout the years to a degree, which I will comment on as we go through. But yeah, this is them at their, you know, most pure, I suppose. You know, they were quite shock rocky at the time. I remember seeing them on the cover of Kerrang before I'd ever heard them, and was thinking, wow, you know, what a rum bunch this is. But yeah, an excellent album. I don't think anyone will argue that this is definitely one of the high points. And I don't like to say that with everyone's first album. It's just, oh yeah, first album's the best. I don't necessarily think it is the best, but it's certainly a good place to start. So that's Wasp from 1984. Very good place to start. Next up, they did The Last Command. This was the first album that I got from them. They had changed the drummer, so Steve Riley is on drums. Later went on to join the LA Guns and had his own, you know, deal with them as well, with Steve Riley's LA Guns later in his career. But yeah, this was the first album that I checked out, and it's got once again a bunch of whole really good stuff on it. Carries on in a similar vein from the first album, I think, but you've got the classic Wild Child, you've got Blinding Texas on here. Fistful of Diamonds as well is really good, and the Last Command, the title track, is one of my favourite tracks of theirs. So this one came out in October 1985, so just over a year afterwards. So similar lineup, just adding Steve Riley on drums, but another excellent album. No real bad tracks on here. I think they're all pretty good, and definitely well worth checking out, I think. High top tier Wasp album. I got this one, which there's a few Wasp which come out on this, 2 albums on one package kind of thing, and this is the first album and The Last Command, so it's a double CD package. Quite limited on bump, if you like. The booklet's pretty sparse, and obviously you don't get the bonus tracks that were on the first album. I think there is a deluxe version of the second album, but I don't have that. I've never seen it. So so yeah, just for completion. I think I got that first, and then got the, you know. Anyway, third album, Inside the Electric Circus. I remember when this came out, I was very excited for it. There was a live gig on TV in the UK. I think maybe live at the Lyceum or something. They did a couple of tracks from this. This is the deluxe edition of this, which is quite rare and, yeah, not the cheapest to buy if you can still pick it up. This one actually contains Live in the Raw as well, which was a live album, which I will come to in a minute. And this is an extended version of that live album, so it's got a couple of tracks that weren't originally on Live in the Raw. But regardless, this is one of Blackie's least favourite albums, and to be honest with you, when it came out I was a little bit disappointed, because it has got some great stuff on it, like the title track. It's got I Don't Need No Doctor, which they play live still. 9-5 Nasty, which was the single, which is really cool. Restless Gypsy is another really good track. Shoot from the Hip. It's got a lot of good stuff on it, but towards the end it does start to become a little bit fillery and a little bit samey, and a lot of the tracks do kind of sound similar, so still well worth checking out, I think. But this one came out in October 1986 on Capitol Records once again. Blackie had changed over to rhythm guitar by this point, and they'd got rid of Randy Piper and got in Johnny Rod on bass, and still Chris Holmes on guitar, still Steve Riley on drums. But yeah, still a cool album. I think it's, you know, still up there with one of their better ones, to be honest with you, but it does get a little bit samey towards the end, so just be aware of that. This is Live in the Raw, which came out after that, so it's mainly stuff from the Electric Circus tour. So it's got tracks from those albums, and it has got the track Harder Faster on it, which is a live version of that. And it's got the track Scream Until You Like It, which was from the film Ghoulies 2, which was a very forgettable Gremlins-esque sort of film from the late 80s. This one came out 1987, so it's got the Manimal on it as well, which is another. There's two songs on it, the Manimal and Harder Faster, which are both live but are not on any albums. So worth getting for them. They're both, you know, fairly decent tracks. And Scream Until You Like It from Ghoulies 2 is a studio version, but it's pretty cool too. So yeah, a good live recording, sounds good, worth having as a live album. Next they did Headless Children, and this one's from 1989. I'm pretty sure it's the same lineup. Oh, Frankie Benali played drums on this. Steve Riley had gone on to join LA Guns by then. This one I really do like. I think this is one of their best albums, one of my favourite albums anyway. They'd gone a bit darker with this, whereas the first three albums are sort of along a similar sort of vein. With this one, it's a bit more dark. The Heretic, The Lost Child, first track is a bit more sort of proggy. The Headless Children's quite doomy. You've got Thunderhead, Neutron Bomber, and the sort of ballad Forever Free, which, you know, got reasonable circulation on MTV at the time. And it's got a few standard WASP tracks, if you like Mean Man and Rebel in the FDG, Man Eater as well, probably. And it's got the cover of The Who's The Real Me, which was a big single. I saw them on this tour and they were excellent. The Hammersmith Odeon. And this one I thoroughly recommend as, yeah, definitely one of their best albums, one of my favourite albums of theirs. So definitely check this out if you want a bit of a darker sounding WASP with a bit more substance, I suppose. Well worth a listen. That's the Headless Children. The next one that came out is The Crimson Idol. Now this is a concept album. It was originally supposed to be, I think, a Blackie Lawless solo album, which is the story you'll hear a couple of times throughout this video. And yeah, concept album loosely based around uh, yeah, a guy who I think he had abusive parents, and you know the story of becoming a rock star and pretty much kills himself at the end. Spoiler alert! But this is Blackie plays the rhythm guitar and the bass on this. I think Bob Kulick does the lead guitar. Frankie Banali stays on drums, but it's mainly pretty much Blackie's show on this one. And a lot of people rate this as one of their favourite Wasp albums. I do like it. It has got some good stuff on it. I'm not, as you all know if you've watched a few of my videos, I'm not the biggest fan of concept albums in general. But, and it's taken me quite a long time to, you know, really like the album. So I would rate it as, you know, a kind of 7 or 8 out of 10. Definitely not top tier for me. But as I say, I'm sure people will disagree. But it has got a lot of good stuff on it, like Arena of Pleasure and Chainsaw Charlie, which was the single, which is excellent. And Dr. Rockter's good. I Am One. You know, it has got good tracks on it. This did get reissued, I think, in maybe like 2020, 2021, which has been edited to a degree. A lot of the language taken out of it, and for reasons I'll explain later. But yeah, it's a good album. I say definitely give it a go because a lot of people do rate it really, really highly. I think it's good, but it's not my favourite. It's yeah, just it's a standard concept album where once again it's quite similar-ish. You've got interludes and what have you, which you know I'm not a big fan of concept albums. So, but check it out if you're yeah, just check it out. You know, it's worth a listen. Next we come to Still Not Black Enough, another one which was originally supposed to be a Blackie solo album, but then he decided, no, I'm going to, you know, use the Wasp name, and why not? It's his, you know, name. This one's quite hard to get hold of nowadays, actually. Quite a rare album. This one came out in June 1995. This one is the first one not on the Capitol Records label. This one came out on Victor in Japan and the UK and Castle in the US. Same lineup as Crimson Idol. Another one which I didn't really like when I first listened to it. But after a few listens, it's got a lot of stuff that I do like on it. There is some sort of more ballady stuff on there as well. The first track, Still Not Black Enough, is great. It's got a cover of Jefferson Airplane's Somebody to Love, which is a decent cover. They do generally pretty good covers. Black Forever is really good. Rock and Roll to Death is pretty cool. But yeah, there's a few songs on here that are slower and a bit more, you know, ballady, introverted, and especially towards the end it gets a bit sort of starts off pretty good. So I do like it. I didn't really love it at first, but yeah, it's an okay album, man. It's pretty decent. Once again, it's going to be a 7 out of 10 probably for me. Yeah, don't rush to listen to this one, although it has got some good stuff on it. Every album they've done has got some really good stuff on it, so that's Still Not Black Enough from June 1995. Next one's a bit of a curveball. This is KFD, which stands for Kill, Fuck, Die. This is April 1997. This one came out on Castle. Another one which is a tricky one to get hold of. The last one you can't stream, and this one you struggle to stream as well. I don't think it's on Apple Music, which is my streaming method of choice. I'm pretty sure it's not on Spotify either, and neither is Still Not Black Enough. Yeah, they're difficult, so you pretty much got to buy them, which, as tends to be the case with stuff that you can't stream, they're rarer and more expensive. This one was the return of Chris Holmes on lead guitar, and the beginning of Mike Duda on bass, and Stet Howland on drums. With the return of Chris Holmes, you might be expecting a more back to basics album, but it's not. They've kind of gone for that sort of industrial vibe, if you like. So it's a very, very different album to like every other album they've done. The title track, And Take the Addiction, starts off quite well, but I say it has definitely got that industrial vibe to it. Killer Head's probably one of the better tracks than Kill Your Pretty Face as well. But there's a few things like You and The Horror which sort of go on a bit, and it's a bit of a dirge. Probably their weakest album, I would say, in general. Just say very different style to their normal style, if you like. So yeah, approach with caution. If you like the rest of Wasp stuff, you might not like this. Say it's listenable, but it takes a few listens. It's quite jarring at first. It's not like super industrial, like, I don't know, Danzig 5 or something, but it's definitely a departure from what they've done before. So yeah, you can't stream it. You have to literally, you could probably watch it on YouTube or something, but yeah, to, you know, listen to it in a decent way, you kind of really need to own the CD. Next one is Eldorado, which is May 1999. This came out on CMC International. This is the Snapper Music version. Stays with the same lineup. Chris Holmes on guitar once again. This is a more back to basics waspy album, and I much prefer it to KFD. Shortish, I think. It's got yeah, a shortish runtime. But this has got a lot more traditional Wasp fare on it, and I think it's a pretty decent album. It's a bit more back to, you know, their old offensive kind of self. So the title track Eldorado is a bit of a classic. Don't Cry, Just Suck pretty much says it all, where the, you know, the theme of this album's gone. But it's a cool track. Damnation Angels is good. Dirty Balls, etc. Is another sort of, you know, back to how they were originally. Cocaine Cowboys, Saturday Night Cockfight, and then you've got a reprise of the title track at the end. So they've sort of dragged it out a bit, but it's an enjoyable listen because it is back to basics, if you like. So for that reason, I rate this one quite highly. I think this one's, you know, definitely an 8 as an enjoyable, you know, no-brain listen. So yeah, worth a go on that one. Eldorado from 1999. I did, yeah, do enjoy that. Guilty pleasure, if you like. This one is another 2 CD set. This one features Eldorado and also The Sting, which was from around that time as well. So you've got like the Eldorado live on there, and you've got stuff from Crimson Idol as well. Yeah, things like Damnation Angels, Dirty Balls as well. So it's a more up-to-date live set, and, you know, sounds pretty cool. It's worth getting. So I got it as the double pack because it was cheaper than getting that than the Sting, like as just an album. So next up we have Unholy Terror, which same lineup, still got Chris on guitar. This one's a bit more political, I guess. This one came out in April 2001. This is sort of a book form of it, which it's my preferred CD format, to be honest with you. If they come in like a book format, I do enjoy that. Good album, unremarkable but still good. You know, yeah, every track is pretty decent, to be honest with you. So it does fade off a little bit towards the end, but you've got the title track Let It Roar, which is great. Hate to Love Me, that's great. Locomotive Man, Unholy Terror. Charisma's a fantastic track, to be honest with you. Who Slayed Baby Jane. So yeah, a lot to like about this album. It's yeah, definitely a favourite, if you like, to a degree. So probably top 5 or 6. Well worth a listen, and yeah, there's nothing to dislike about this one. It's just a good, solid Wasp album. Next we have Dying for the World. This one I think was the sort of reaction to the 9/11 situation. A similar album to Unholy Terror, maybe a bit darker. You've got things like Shadow Man and My Wicked Heart, which are great. Hell for Eternity is probably the best one on here. Stone Cold Killers, that's really, really good as well. And you've got Hallow Ground, and then you've got Hallow Ground, an acoustic version of that as well. So I would say I don't enjoy it as much as Unholy Terror, but still quite a decent album. Yeah, but just not quite as good as Unholy Terror. So worth a go. That's 2002 that one came out. They've added Daryl Roberts on guitar there, and you've still got Mike Duda on bass, and you've still got Frankie Benali on drums. Next one. This is an interesting set. Well, it comes as two parts. This is Neon God Part 1, The Rise. Same lineup as the previous album. This is from June 2004 on Sanctuary Records, as the last two records were as well. This one's another concept album. I'm not going to go into it, the concept of it, because it's just, you know, whatever. But yeah, two-parter. So this is part one, The Rise. Definitely the better of the two parts, I would say. A lot of interludes and sort of, you know, yeah, tracks that sound quite similar. But it's got some good stuff on here. You got Wishing Well. This took me ages to get into this set of albums, man, just because it's kind of similar-ish. Especially as part two's got a lot of stuff that sounds a lot like part one, where it literally reuses choruses and, you know, parts of tracks. But yeah, part one good. Wishing Well, Sister Sadie is a really good one as well. Asylum Number 9's excellent. You've got The Red Room of the Rising Sun, which is a sort of bit of a psychedelic track. Almost reminds me of, well, it does very much remind me of Tomorrow Never Knows by the Beatles, even like apes the sort of vocal line in that one. What else have we got on here? Ecstasy Riders is quite good as well. So yeah, it's got some good individual tracks on here, but the concept is kind of a bit like whatever. So definitely one of the weaker moments of their discography, although this one is pretty good. And you've got Neon God Part 2, The Demise. Yeah, this one is just a bit of a rehash. I mean, Blackie's gone on, oh, don't judge them individually, they're supposed to be as a set. So if he were judging it as a set, it would be over long, and the second half of it apes the first one quite a bit. You've got things like Never Say Die on here, which is not bad. Come Back to Black, that's pretty good. Destinies to Come, that's pretty good. The Last Redemption is just basically a medley of like all the other tracks, and there's another one on here which I think might be Clockwork Mary, which pretty much is Sister Sadie. But anyway, yeah, a bit of a rehash. Probably just make the first one a bit longer and stick like Never Say Die and Come Back to Black on there, and you're good, I would say. That's just my opinion. So once again, these ones are, you can stream them, but they're quite tricky to come by the physical version. So be prepared to pay a couple of bucks if you do want them. So yeah, a little bit disappointing on part two, I think. Right, next one is Dominator, and this for me is a return to form. Although it is shortish, I think it's only about half an hour long. I do enjoy this album quite a lot. Firstly, it's got the Burning Man on it, which is one of my favourite tracks of there ever. Mercy's a great opening track as well. Long, a Long Way to Go is good. Take Me Up is good. You've got Heaven's Hung in Black, which is a ballad. You've got a reprise of that later on, which, you know, not necessarily. But yeah, the first sort of 4 tracks are just absolutely stunning. Especially the Burning Man, which is, yeah, superb. So this one came out in 2007 on Demolition Records. You got Doug Blair on the lead guitar and Mike Dupke on drums. So yeah, you can pick this one up fairly easily, and I say, even though it is short and one of those tracks is a reprise anyway, I think it's still worth getting just for the first 4 tracks alone. I think it's pretty cool, man. I do enjoy it quite a lot. So Dominator from 2007, very good. Now we go to Babylon. So Blackie decides all of a sudden that, you know, I regret my life choices and now I'm a born again Christian, which apparently he was brought up quite strict in the Catholic Christian, you know, whatever, which is fair dues. You know, it's up to him. This one's all a bit fire and brimstone, but yeah, very, very good album. October 2009, this one came out, same lineup as before, and this one's got a lot to like about it. It's a really, really good album. Crazy to start off with is excellent. Live to Die Another Day is excellent. Babylon's Burning, excellent, excellent track, one of their best. You got a cover of Deep Purple's Burn, which they do a decent job. Into the Fire, Thunder Red, that's really cool. Seas of Fire, so it's all very fire and brimstone. Godless Run, which is another ballady, you know, what have I done with my life, Jesus kind of track. And then you've got a cover of Chuck Berry's Promised Land at the end, which is also pretty cool, man. So I like this album quite a lot. I think this is a top tier WASP album. It's, yeah, very, very good. Some just great tracks. It's a good listen all the way through, to be honest with you. So yeah, would definitely recommend Babylon from October 2009. This was their penultimate album up till now. So worth a listen. And lastly, we have Golgotha, which came out on in 2015 in October. It's on Napalm Records, same lineup once again. This is another Christian album, if you like. So, but it's not as good as Babylon. Like, quite honestly, it's nowhere near. This is definitely a lot more introspective and looking towards, you know, yeah, the God that he didn't worship for many years and now he kind of does. And so you've got Miss You and the title track Golgotha, which are very much sort of, yeah, that way inclined. But it's got some good tracks on it. You've got Scream, you've got Last Runaway and Shotgun to start off with, which are all really cool. Slaves of the New World Order, which is excellent as well. I mean, it is a good album, but it's just not quite as up-tempo. It's got quite a lot of slower stuff on it. Fairly dark, but a decent album. This is the last album. Let's say this is 2015, so that was a good 6 years after Babylon, and he's not done anything since. Apparently, he had one pretty much written and in the can, but didn't like it, so felt that, you know, that he wasn't going to put it out because he didn't want to put out a substandard product, which, you know, is to be commended. So that's pretty much it. They have got Re-Idolized, as I said earlier, which is the Crimson Idol reissue, which, yeah, I guess because of the, you know, his beliefs now that he took a lot of the, you know, like in Chainsaw Charlie, there's a lot of the cussing taken out of it. When they do the live shows, for a while he wasn't doing Animal, for example, and a lot of the other stuff that was, you know, more racy was taken out, similar to what Megadeth have done. Although now it is back in the set, so who knows. So that one came out in 2018, that one. With the same lineup as Babylon and Golgotha. Might as well, it's got a couple of extra tracks on it. It's like the soundtrack to the film. So, but yeah, for me, not really worth getting that. If you've already got Crimson Idol, it's quite expensive to get as well. Live in the Raw, which I covered. They also did another album, Double Live Assassins, in February 1998. Which has got the KFD lineup, so it was after that tour. That's to say, a double live album. It's got stuff from the KFD album on it, which isn't necessarily something to recommend, but it's a double CD, so it's a decent live set where it's worth a listen, man. It sounds decent. If you're a big fan of KFD, then, you know, definitely check it out. It's the only CD of theirs apart from Re-Idolized that I don't have. They've done a couple of compilations of greatest hits as well, which are okay. But yeah, so that was that. Let me know if you're a fan of the band, what your favourite albums are. I'd say definitely my favourites are Headless Children, Babylon, do like Dominator, and the first sort of 2 or 3 really. First 4 albums, you can't really go wrong. So yeah, let me know what your favourite ones are, and give me your thoughts on the video in general, and yeah, what you'd like to see them do next. I don't think they'll do another album, is my personal opinion, but never say never. Blackie's had his health issues, I think, with his knee, etc, etc. And I did watch a thing on YouTube of them doing a live gig, which sounded really, really good, like too good, in a sort of you know, re-recorded kind of Motley Crue, Kiss kind of way. So, but it did sound decent, so that kind of puts me off seeing them live a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So anyway, it's been a long time since the last video, so I hope this one's been worth it, and I will catch you on the next one. Try not to leave it so long, so appreciate you watching. Like and subscribe, all of that other stuff that everyone tells you to do. You'll do it if you want to, and I appreciate it if you do. But anyway, you take it easy, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers. Ta-da.